Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It is May 23rd, 2023, and we are in the Old Testament book of Numbers. We're going to read chapter 27 today. All right, so two things are going to happen here that we want to look at. First one, we just had that second census of the tribes of Israel. And males, male, father, male, father. And then all of a sudden it switches to some females and then goes back to males. This kind of expands on that little blurb of a female suddenly being counted amongst the men. Why were they done? This explains it. Because their male relatives were all dead. They had died of their own sins, apparently. So they weren't any of the events that we've seen previously to this. It was some other event, but these sisters suddenly have no male in their life, so when they're worried about, hey, when we start divvying up the land, when we get to the promised land, we're not going to get anything, but we should be getting something. Our husbands would have got it, but they're dead. So Moses casts some lots, they talk about it, and they decide, hey, you know what, if there is no male relative, then it goes to the daughters. If there's no daughters, it goes to the brothers, so on and so forth. That's pretty significant. Why is that significant? Well, when we get to the New Testament and we're looking at the genealogy of Jesus, we get two genealogies. Matthew has one and Luke has one that's slightly different. And the general thinking is that Matthew kept us through Joseph's lineage all the way back to David. And then Luke, who knew a little bit more of the story, started with Mary and followed hers. And people say, well, you couldn't have done Mary's because there's a patriarchal society. What about all the males? Well, this is telling us, you know what? Yeah, it was a patriarchal society, but you know what? They had provisions in place that if there was no male heir, such as Jesus, whose father was really God and not Joseph, that you would start and go through the female. Second part of this story that we're going to see in chapter 27, Moses needs a successor because he's not going to be able to lead the people into the promised land, so he picks Joshua, or God picks Joshua, and we're starting to prepare him to lead the people into the promised land. So let's go ahead and we're going to read Numbers chapter 27. Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, son of Hepher, so the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, from the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and these were the names of his daughters, Mala, Noah, Haglat, Miklah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses, before Eleazar the priest, and before the leaders and all the congregation by the doorway of the tabernacle of meeting, saying, Our father died in the wilderness, but he was not in the company of those who gathered together against the Lord in company with Korah, but he died in his own sin, and he had no sons. Why should the name of our father be removed from among his family, because he had no son? Give us a possession among our father's brothers. So Moses brought their case before the Lord, and the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, The daughters of Zelophehad speak what is right. You shall surely give them a possession of inheritance among their father's brothers, and cause the inheritance of their father to pass to them. And you shall speak to the children of Israel, saying, If a man dies and has no son, then you shall cause his inheritance to pass to his daughter. If he has no daughter, then you shall give his inheritance to his brothers. If he has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to his father's brothers. And if his father has no brothers, then you shall give his inheritance to the relative closest to him and his family, and he shall possess it. And it shall be to the children of Israel a statute of judgment, just as the Lord commanded Moses. Now the Lord said to Moses, Go up into the Mount Abarim, and see the land which I have given to the children of Israel. And when you have seen it, you shall also be gathered to your people, as Aaron your brother was gathered. For in the wilderness of Zin, during the strife of the congregation, you rebelled against my command to hallow me at the waters before their eyes. These are the waters of Meribah at Kadesh in the wilderness of Zin. Then Moses spoke to the Lord, saying, Let the Lord, the God of the spirits of all flesh, set a man over the congregation, who may go out before him and go in before them, who may lead them out and bring them in, that the congregation of the Lord will not be like sheep which have no shepherd. And the Lord said to Moses, Take Joshua the son of Nun with you, a man in whom is the Spirit, and lay your hand on him. Set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation, and inaugurate him in their sight. And you shall give some of your authority to him, that all the congregation of the children of Israel may be obedient. He shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall inquire before the Lord for him by the judgment of the Urim. At his word they shall go out, and at his word they shall come in, he and all the children of Israel with him, all the congregation. So Moses did as the Lord commanded him. He took Joshua and set him before Eleazar the priest and before all the congregation. And he laid his hands on him and inaugurated him, just as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses. May God bless the reading of his word. May God bless you. Bye.